What is going on, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Tuffy Talk live show, y'all. We are here. We are rolling. It is finally back to being Monday, Tuffy Talk live show. I know, man, 2 weeks ago we did it on Wednesday. Last week we did it Tuesday. And now we're back to Monday. So now we're back rolling. We're back to the norm. We enjoyed the run for sure. I'd be all for having plenty of Wednesday night Tuffy Talk live shows if it means that we have to go on another run like that. That's all I'm saying. But
no doubt.
Yeah, but anyway, though, real quick here, I want to do a little bit of a pulse check a little bit here. And actually, you're bringing in my man Macon to join it. Macon, what up, bud?
What's up, guys? How are y'all?
You man. So hey, I was doing a pulse check here for a second. So raise your hand if your team is 1-0 in their playoff series right now. Let's go. All right, 2 out of 3, not bad. All right, not bad at all. Greg, hey, there's still room on the bandwagon, my man. Come on over.
By the way, this is Tuffy Talk, not Kane's chat, so I would appreciate you not wearing that nonsense on the podcast.
What are you talking about? I got my flag and everything, baby. I am rolling, baby.
Hey, raise your hand if you have 3 Stanley Cups. Oh, only 1 out of 3. Oh, sorry. That sucks.
Hey, bring all that noise, man. Bring all that noise. Let's go. Hey, I'm okay with the hurt. Hey, see, that's the thing though, is that you
don't want none of our smoke, so you definitely rooting for the Panthers.
Oh, I mean, shoot, I want to get by the Rangers. Yes, I'm looking ahead. I'm pulling up the game here to keep up with, but
Tuffy Talk. Let's go.
No, listen, one more second. Again, I'm not even thinking about the Islanders. I'm ready for the Rangers. I'm off the Islanders. I don't even care. Okay. But anyway, so what's going on, Michelle? What's going on, Razor? Appreciate everybody tuning in here already. If you've been with us before, you know the drill. But make sure, again, if you have any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns, put them in the chat and we will get to them here today. But we got a lot to get to, a lot to talk about. Just like the title says, hey, NC State Athletics won UNC nothing in 2023-2024 as far as I'm concerned. And I don't think there's even really a 2-0. Fine.
We can talk about it, but I mean, Carolina's got a couple of wins.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, we're never usually the one to make our own tweets of the week. Make our own tweets a tweet of the week. But I mean, obviously, would love to, bring it up and discuss it. But I think if I'm not mistaken, I saw a stat where in the every single game this year where it was NC State versus UNC, not like NC State and UNC in a, like a top 10 tournament, we finished higher than them, thinking like that. Like literally just head to head, NC State versus UNC in every single sport this year. We were 16-6 this year. So yeah, which is pretty good. So, because I know like a lot of people, when I put out the tweet, was like, well, what about cross country? It's like, well, but I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously cross country, NC State, was better than UNC, but it wasn't head to head. So that's kind of the tough part when it comes to cross country. So, but I mean, again, hey, listen, it was a great weekend for sure. I mean, definitely a surprising weekend. I mean, I remember 2 weeks ago, Greg, I think we were actually talking about it, about like, we need to get one of those series, either versus Clemson or UNC, and we got both. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty nice right now, man. It's pretty nice.
Good shape. Yeah. Got lots more baseball to go, man. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah. So, but Macon, man, good to have you back, man.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy your time in Mexico?
Let's put it this way. I'm just glad I'm back, man. It was fine. It was like, man, it's nothing like the US of A, right? So,
hey, man.
So it was good, man. I think the weekend wins helped me out tremendously, because for me, I got off the plane in Raleigh at 5, and I was like, you know what? I got time to go to this baseball game, and I'm glad I did. It was great. It was great.
It was a good one. Yeah, no, it's definitely not easy going to a game, especially at 6. Like, I'm assuming it was at 6 to get it on national TV time. Greg, would that be your suspicion?
Yeah, maybe there was some other things going on. I don't know. I don't even know what was on after us. So I don't know.
But I mean, 6 o'clock on a day where people work. I mean, like for me, like that was tough. Like the only reason why I even got there in the second inning was because it got delayed a little bit because of the rain. But I mean, if it didn't get delayed, I wouldn't have been there till third or fourth inning. And I mean, it is what it is. Like
Yep,
I gotta work for a living.
Yeah, it was wild for me. Like there was traffic going to the game. I'm like, there's never traffic going to the Doak.
Right.
There was that, and then there was a lot of police at the game. I was like, I've never seen this many police people here.
Really?
So,
Wow.
things were getting a little cray, but it was good.
All right.
That's cool.
Well, with that being said, I wanted to go ahead and bring up one video clip from Elliot Avon's post-game press conference. I want to talk about a little bit here. So with that being said, he got well. Let's put it this way: he didn't even get asked a question. He basically just was like, "So, what are your thoughts on the game?" And he basically went on like a 2-minute long, hiatus, and we'll show a little bit of it right here. So we'll hand it on over. Oh no! Freaking A! Are you kidding me? No sound. What a move. Are you kidding me? All right. Well, let me get that real quick. But Greg, just to kind of summarize it for the fans a little bit here. So basically, Avent started to go into, how much he respected the team this year after all he went through, all they have gone through with the injuries to Noah Souls, who had to go through surgery, to Shane Van Dam. And then he basically said, a fluke injury to Whitaker. No, to Whitaker, right? Whitaker, yep.
Yeah.
I always get Willison and Whitaker.
I don't think he said injury. He said a fluke thing, I think was the phrase.
Yeah.
Which he hasn't figured out yet, which I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah. We can talk about it offline.
Oh, okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been weird. We've had some illnesses. We've had, the Souls injury was kind of like, really? And he's just been so snake bitten over the last couple of years with just injuries. You had the Van Dam concussion. You had Willison before the season. You had Alex Sosa missed some time. You had Sam miss a start or two. There's probably a couple more that Butterworth had a thing for a game or two. So yeah, I mean, we haven't had our full squad, even the projected full squad, probably, but maybe 1 or 2 series all season, and that might even be, a safe estimate. And so, yeah, what this team has accomplished is nothing but guys just stepping up, and that's what you need when you're trying to potentially make a run in this thing. And I mean, you can make arguments that the SEC is the best conference in baseball, but if the ACC isn't, they're damn near second, or they're our second, but they're damn near first if you ask me. When you look at all the composite polls and the settings, and so yeah, I mean, we beat 3 top 10 teams, 3 top 10 teams or fringe top 10 again, depending on who you subscribe to. And then we have another 3 that are top 15 left in the year. And then we've got a couple, splattered in there. We have another ECU. I think we have
ECU. I think is that tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yep, tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then you've got Wake Forest, you've got UVA, and you've got.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the
Lincoln.
there's a couple. Yeah, there's a couple midweek games too that
Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State. Yeah. Yeah, this weekend we have Ball State, then we have Florida State, then we have UVA, and then Wake Forest to end the season.
Really good opportunities in my mind. I mean, I'm thinking like, to your point, Greg, they haven't all been clicking all cylinders the whole season. So what the coach and vision for this team haven't been there. Now, granted, every coaching staff every year, it's going to figure there's going to be something going on potentially with some players, but you got to imagine if they're playing. To me, it's the consistency, and that's what bothers me. It's just you never know what you're going to get on any given night. And some of the other teams that are higher ranked, like for instance, go UNC. To be fair, they're playing much more consistently. I mean, think about it. They averaged, what would that be, 10 runs a game, right? Or no, that would be 16 to be 29 runs a game. So they had 8, and 11, I think, or 18 and 14, right?
What are you talking about? Last weekend?
Runs? Yeah, this past weekend. Yeah.
No, we beat them. We beat them 5-4 in one of the games. So.
Okay, I get it wrong.
Yeah.
So it's 5-4. 4. They had 8, and then they had 14. So
they had 25 runs for the series. Is that right? 25,
25, something like that. So
they average like roughly
about 9 a game or so, right? 8 or 9. So to me, some of those teams they just know how to score, and you can know on almost any given night they're going to be able to do that. And the pitching is consistent a lot of times.
Mhm.
I just feel like if they can get some guys healthy and kind of continue to build on that chemistry, they'll be playing at an even higher level. And my point of that is they're winning these series with some
Who's they? We're
inconsistent
talking.
play.
Talking
NC
NC
State. I
State
went
now.
back to NC State.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they're
Cool.
they're winning these series, playing a little bit inconsistently. And to me, if you're a State fan, that should be a little encouraging in some ways, because if they can find ways to win those games the way they're playing right now, just imagine when they can get healthier and get that chemistry going with the full roster there. So I'm happy about it in that regard. I just it's not much more you can ask for playing this up and down in my mind and still winning. So
Yeah,
Well,
go ahead, Leighton.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, the only thing, I mean, which I would say to is as well as we have been playing, I mean, we got to keep it up. I mean, we just can't take the gas off the pedal. I mean, the foot off the gas. I mean, even though yes, we were going through issues with injuries. I mean, again, it just we can't be a team of excuses. At the end of the day, I mean, we still got 3 big series coming up here at Florida State, which is gonna be really really tough. Florida State's the hottest team, one of the hottest teams in the country right now, in my opinion.
Yep.
Going to UVA and then getting a Wake Forest team that I think is still trying to find itself once again. I mean, I think that team that they put preseason #1 country in terms of talent is still there. It's just a matter of just that they're just in some kind of a lull right now.
They're
They
still a
haven't
little bit
really been able to figure
inconsistent.
out.
They've been a little
Yeah,
inconsistent, but I mean, they're
yeah,
still, I mean, they're still a top 10 team. Probably still in the, in line for a potential College World Series berth.
sure.
If pitching gets itself right, pitching will be hitting 9 out of 10 times. I mean, that's what wins ball games, pitching and defense. But
Yep.
you expect, State to start getting healthier. I would expect Whitaker back here, probably in a couple of weeks. Souls potentially can be back, depending on how his rehab goes from his surgery. Who else are we missing? I'm just trying to think of a couple of
was
people.
Sosa out a little bit or no?
Yeah, Sosa
playing?
was out. He's still trying to find his groove. He missed a lot of time with his illness and his timing, and he lost some weight, and so he's just trying to figure it out. And I applaud definitely the staff just sticking with him and trying to let him figure it out on the fly. That's a guy that if he figures it out, that could bring some stuff. But the one guy I kind of really want to shout out is Josh Hogue. I mean, he's stepped in for Souls and has played wonderfully.
Yes.
He made that spectacular catch last week in the Campbell game to keep us in it, for a little bit. He robbed that home run, and then he just goes out and gets hits. Does it quietly, not real flashy per se. But he's a guy that's going to be really good for us here. And once these freshmen start really start figuring it out here, maybe later in the season or next couple of seasons, it could be a real dangerous team. But
For sure.
they're playing well. Look, we gave up some home runs. That Carolina team can hit, man. They can hit. Their outfielders are really good. They stole some base hits away from us. So the fact that we were able to get 2 out of 3, Sam gave up some home runs, but they were solo shots. And same with Dom on Friday. I wanted to say Saturday, but because I'm so used to him being the Saturday starter, but since we started Thursday, it's Friday. Dom gave up some home runs, and I was talking to his mom, and she was like, "Well, he gave up 3 or 4 home runs," and I said, "Yes, but they were solo shots. They got 1 hit instead of 2 or 3 hits to get
Right,
that
it's the
run. So
time.
at the end of the day, yeah, at the end of the day, it's still a run. I mean, but he limited the damage, and that's what all you can ask for your pitchers is to keep you in ball games, and then hopefully your offense figures it out. And we did that on Thursday and Friday with late inning rallies. Thursday with the walk-off homer by Butters, and then I think in Friday's game we scored 3 in the 8th. So
Yep.
again, just hang around, and find a way.
Yep. Absolutely. And we'll talk a little bit more baseball here in our tweet of the week here in a second. But I want to highlight D Roop's comment here real quick, saying I haven't seen Lindsay since we made our runs in basketball. Hope she's okay. Yep. Nope. Basically since, man, when was it? Probably early March or so. No, more like mid-February, 2 months ago, basically. She got a job as a full-time media person for the MLB. So she is wrapped up most evenings covering the baseball games recently. So that's been the reason why she's not been as much involved recently. But she actually will be coming out with our episodes with the GOAT herself, Emily Shepard, for NC State Gymnastics. Part 1 will come out tomorrow. Part 2 will come out on Wednesday. And her and I were the ones that were able to do that interview. So you'll see her then. Yeah, but yeah,
I would
D-Rip,
like
yeah,
to
no,
think
damn,
that,
good for her.
on her resume saying Tuffy Talk probably got the MLB gig.
That's exactly what it was. That's exactly
Dude,
what it was.
Pretty sure that's what it was.
That was, I mean, I'll take
Friends
that.
with Greg Haas. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Job, but
Ooh,
I appreciate that,
yeah.
Macon. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I'll think that the MLB commissioner was like looking through resume, like,
That's it. Good old Rob was like,
Tuffy talking was like,
Manfield was-
bam.
Yeah, Robbie
And
was.
so
Why
like,
didn't you say this from the
Tuffy Talk.
get-go?
I know, right? We could have skipped everything else.
We could have skipped the
Yeah.
interview. Yeah,
That's right. All right, y'all. So let's jump on over to fan favorite part of the show, which goes by.
What really grinds my gears?
There you go.
There we go. Got that old double click there. So for fun, we actually did something a little different where we usually ask for mailbag questions in our Discord. But instead we said, hey, let us know what really grinds your gears. And we have a few of them, which we'll kind of go through kind of rapid fire here. So Michael C coming in very generic, saying the UNC/Tar Mart fans really grinds his gears. Dave
Always
Dorn.
a safe bet. Always a safe bet when you have that answer.
Oh,
Mhm.
totally.
Mhm.
Dave Dorn, 2 minutes before halftime. I mean,
Save
okay.
We're in 2 minutes before halftime.
I think some of the
Yeah, just like-
conservativeness.
Conservativeness,
Colin?
yeah. That's what that was. What does
Conservative.
that mean?
Yeah.
Dang, Islanders are up 2. Yeah, you know what really grinds my gears? Islanders getting a 2-goal lead. That really grinds my gears. Hey, it's only first period, Greg. Live hockey still left.
You know what really grinds my gears?
What's that?
Wearing Canes gear on an NC State podcast.
Hey, man.
Uh-huh.
So
That's what you
anyway,
get. What you get?
yeah.
Being cocky.
Okay. Hey, I'm just hyped. That's all. All right, and then number 3, ACC officials. I mean, the good old ACC
Given.
officials.
Yeah.
Given. And rules being changed in sports to allow for the same commercials to be played more frequently, which we'll talk about here in a little bit.
Silly.
I know. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. Another tweet of the week. And then Kevin Keats, fan 26, says NC State's Clark Dining Hall on Fish Night. So
what they did
making I never ate at much of dining hall. But I'm assuming Fish Night.
I have no
It's
idea
not-
what that's about.
Probably
I don't
stinks. Is
either.
what I'm guessing.
It's
Well,
maybe
yeah. That'd be my
whereas
guess.
everybody show out for fish night and it's packed and
Oh, it could be too. Maybe everyone
so
loves a good fish fry.
or maybe he's mad that
That's true.
nobody shows up and it really grinds his gears. You just never know.
Maybe.
We're gonna need some expansion on that.
Yeah, we might need that. And then the other one that we also have submitted is AC holding championships outside the state of North Carolina, which I could not agree with anymore.
That is a good one.
Yes.
You mean
no,
you mean
100%.
agree with more?
Yes, sure. So yeah, and then for me, what really grinds my gears is the UNC fans saying, "Well, we won 1 out of 3 in baseball, so that means we won the series, right?"
Who says
talking
that?
about
says
about.
There was out there.
Oh yeah, there's people saying, "Well,
They won the
State's
last
missing-
game, so they thought that means they won the series.
They won the series, which
What?
is not the same thing whatsoever. But again, we'll talk about that here a little bit here too. So good old UNC fans, gotta love them, right? So
No, you don't,
Greg,
but okay.
sarcasm totally.
No, I know.
So making Greg, anything grind your gears for? Jump on over tweets of the week, man.
I don't
And
know,
that-
man.
That's not Carolina Hurricanes related, Greg.
No.
I don't know right now. I think good.
I would like the Doak to be more rowdy. Like you see some of these SEC like places like Texas A&M when you throw 4 balls and they keep going ball 5 and just making the place like ECU does a nice job too. Like that place is really tough to play. So if we could just figure out a way to make our environment just hostile. Like I'm not saying do anything illegal or nefariously, but just make it uncomfortable.
Yep.
When I can hear the opposing dugout more than our own fans, there's a problem.
I agree.
That's fair.
Yeah, no.
Colin.
So you're saying, Greg, that not even close isn't quite enough for you?
Well, if more people do it, I mean, it's literally the 5 people I know of over in the right field corner. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, maybe
Yep.
you'll get a little spattering here and there in the stadium, but it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've got my thoughts on it, but I don't want to speak about it publicly.
So literally, Greg, Ash and I went to went to NC State UNCG game at UNCG like 2 years ago, and literally I decided to be that guy, and I did not even, and I'm telling you, not one soul said close, not one soul. Everybody just like I was, and so from then on out, I was like, okay, obviously it's a home game thing. So,
It's not, again, it's not. He's not even a home game. It's literally like 20 fans that do it. Like, again,
at home games.
Let's encourage. Yeah, right. Let's encourage stadium participation. Like, let's get into the dang game. But anyway,
agreed. Yeah, Macon, you got anything, bud?
No, nothing's really grinding my gears right now, guys. So I can think of, to be honest with you. I'm just kind of like, life's going good right now. So
there you go.
But you know what? I'm ready to talk some basketball, ready to talk some football, some baseball. I'm just looking forward to the conversation.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Let's get to it. So here you go. Tuffy's tweets of the week, y'all. All right, gotta start off by giving a huge shout out to the announcement of the 2024 NC State Athletics Hall of Fame class, highlighted obviously by Bradley Chubb and Phillip Rivers for sure, but other names as well, like Raleigh Geiger, a long time cross country and track and field coach who is still coaching, actually still to this day. He's still kicking it and doing it, and good for him. And then got a soccer star in here too as well. Again, a great class here for sure.
Yeah, women's basketball.
Yeah, women's basketball player, volleyball as well. So again, well representation among all of NC State athletics. So, but I'll tell you, seeing Bradley Chubb and Phillip Rivers side by side in a Hall of Fame class, you're kind of tempted that whichever class, I would have said whichever class Phillip Rivers kind of backed into would be one of the most like wow factor Hall of Fame classes in NC State history, just because you're going to have other names, but then Phillip Rivers basically backed into it just because it took a while for them to work out the logistics to get Phillip Rivers there. So having Bradley Chubb and Phillip Rivers in the same class, that's pretty remarkable.
Yeah,
I just think it's crazy. Side note, only point quick, just having Bradley Chubb. It's hard. I don't even hardly view him as a legend like that, as a Hall of Famer, but it's like for NC State, but he is. Like, it's just like, think about that. Like, he was here 10 years ago. He was being recruited by State, and none of us could have thought he'd be what he was. I just think it's kind of crazy. So,
yeah. Well, you're right. I mean, he came in as a linebacker, right? Like a
linebacker.
Believe, right?
Yep.
Georgia.
Linebacker.
Yeah. And worked his way to end up being defensive end. I just think that his suit was fire, though. Like, honestly, if I go to one of those events, I know you can go, and I had thought about it, but we already had baseball tickets, and I'm like, if I'm doing it, I'm going like Bradley Chubb. I'm telling you right now, I'm finding the
reddest thing you can find. I want to wear it. Yeah.
100%.
I love to seeing some of the folks' pictures and wearing red and different styles of formal wear, and it was cool. Like, even Boo, he was wearing the red vest, and Mr. Wolf and Miss Wolf was decked out to the nines with. Mr. Wolf had the black tuxedo with the red vest and bow tie, and it was cool. I like it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And I don't think any point of the night could have been beaten by actually this picture by Tim Peeler of Phillip Rivers and Chuck Amato, embracing, you would call it. Obviously poor Chuck. Anybody who's seen Chuck recently is definitely. He's getting old for sure. So just to see Chuck, smiling and Phillip, there, man, like, this is, like,
what do you think they were saying? What do you think they were talking? Like, what do you think?
I love you, coach. Love you, Phillip. Like, just,
I'm thinking something like, "Daggone, can you believe I'm here in the Hall of Fame?
Daggone, coach."
All because of you or something like that, and Imagine it. Let's go strap it up a couple, run out there and throw some football around. You just call some plays, something like that.
Yeah.
No, no. What Philip is really saying is, hey, my EC championship ring hasn't come in yet. You got yours?
Too
So-
soon, man. Too soon.
Still too soon? Oh, come on.
Too soon, man.
I mean, that's definitely something that really grinds my gears. It definitely sucks we couldn't get one with that team with Philip. Man, you should have got one.
Yeah,
Phillip,
that's the crazy thing, right? We talk about it. If Phillip Rivers is the star guy on the basketball team, you probably are winning some championships, right?
Oh
You know,
yeah.
it's,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, or heck, he could even been like a pitcher on the baseball, and you can go pretty far with a dominant arm or two.
Oh sure. Well,
Yeah.
and you got D-Roop asking the question in here. Does DJ Burns make the NCAA Hall of Fame one day?
Ooh, Hall of
Megan,
Fame.
what's your thoughts?
Okay, Hall of Fame. No.
No. not a Hall of Fame.
Does his jersey get honored in PUC Arena?
Potentially.
That's debatable to me because
Potentially.
how many players have won 2 most outstanding player awards in the AC tournament and the NCAA tournament, have made it to have an AC champion
Yeah.
and being a Final Four or a South Regional champion, like cut down nets twice, was basically virtually
He
unstoppable.
was MVP in the
Yeah.
ACC and South Region.
Yeah, I
Right,
think it's
so
most
definitely.
outstanding player.
Most outstanding, yeah.
MOP. So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty high cotton to me. And the crazy thing though, he just did all that in a month, which
Right.
is what's hard about it. And it's like, so does he get his jersey honored? I kind of like to think at some point he does.
It would be. It would. I mean, if nothing else, with all the goodwill that he get, I mean, I know it's an on-court achievement, but just geez, like everything that he's meant to the
Right.
to the university and to the fans. If he had some all-conference accolades during the regular season, that would probably go a lot further in bolstering his resume. I just don't think there's enough substance there, unfortunately, for
Yeah.
him to get a Hall of Fame nod.
Well,
Well,
it's
he's
just
on-
kind of
He was
crazy
only
to
here
have a
2
guy
years,
out there.
right? And so
Yeah, but
maybe
you could
just
have-
3 or 4.
Go ahead, Lane.
Well, but that's my thing is like, yeah, like that part of it is that he was here for 2 years. But also too, like I'm looking at people, like the amount of players and people I would put before DJ Burns. So it's kind of like, to me, it's like I couldn't imagine like if these guys aren't in it, then I can't imagine him being like one
Like
guy that
T.J.
immediately
Warren?
stands out.
But see,
Yep,
here's the
him.
thing then. Like
But
now,
Gary Bradbury, he needs to be
Yeah.
in Hall of Fame. In my
yeah,
opinion.
but to me, I come up for basketball, like even football now. Sometimes, like if we're really going to base it off of years of service, so to speak, like the transfer portal is what it is now, guys. Like, are really going to beat up on guys getting their jersey honored because of the transfer portal? Like, oh well, like to me, it's like I don't know if that's what you're doing, but it's like it's going to be so much more unlikely that we have players at one school for 4 years, or heck, even 3 years necessarily, that are just awesome, especially in college basketball. So that's where I come back to like, I don't necessarily view it as the years. I just view it as the impact.
No, and I'm not saying you have to be
That's
here
how I
for
view
3
it,
years.
yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
feel you. I don't say you have to be here for 3 years, but it's the impact that you make within those 2 years. Like if Horn, or I see Horn, I mentioned here in the chat, that's why I was saying something. But if you
Yeah.
see Horn or Burns, if they're getting conference accolades, national accolades, like All-American status and things like that, then it just becomes no-brainers. But if you're looking for something to push them over the edge, like they don't have that, Burns isn't going to register in the top 5 of any historical category, like from an all-time perspective.
That's statistically, yeah, that's a problem. So I wonder, are we learning maybe what the bottom end of acceptability, or just like, because to me, if he weren't to get in, he would be, to me, like an example of like, this is like just on the outside of good enough or not good enough.
Right.
Because I mean, the guy has some pretty amazing awards that are just for him.
Yeah.
But he did it in such a small window of time that it's like, I don't know if you do it, but I don't, man, 2 awards like that, AC champion, that's something. And I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So
it is. I mean, he was an integral part of it. I don't know. Like I would
wasn't
like to
even first team. He wasn't even first, second.
No.
I don't think he was.
No,
he was
was
honorable mention. He was an honorable mention. So it's like, Yeah, so I don't know, man. He just had a really amazing run. You know,
Mhm.
And
I don't know.
again, it's not, and look, you can even say that those award, those all conference things can be slanted. Freaking Baycott got, defensive player of the year or whatever it was. And, some of it's a popularity contest. But when you're looking for criteria for like a Hall of Fame, those are things that you're looking for. And unfortunately, if it's not on your resume, it's really hard to make the argument that they should. You know, I there's no doubt that this team will be honored and, whatever. Um, I
So
mean,
then,
does the team make it into the Hall of Fame as a team? Maybe,
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I
and
just
I know
think
they didn't
about.
win it, but
So my
it was
question now we're going
unparalleled.
to debate about this so I don't know the answer to this. I'm going to go look it up. Was Wittenberg a Hall of Famer? Was he like an All American?
No.
So then why is his jersey up there? He won a national championship, right? That's great and that's awesome.
Yeah, but he was there all 4
is
years.
it?
If you
That's
look at
true.
his thing, you know what I mean? Like, again, cumulatively, if you're only going to be there 2, those 2 have got to equal 4, essentially, if that makes sense. Like the numbers have to be off the charts to where you're just like, no brainer. You know what
I
I
just
mean?
feel like now it's going to be so much harder now for
Mhm,
somebody's
mhm,
jersey to get honored now in PNC Arena.
mhm.
So I'm like, with what he's actually done and the impact he made, I'm wondering if that's a threat, like he
And,
right there,
and
fringe acceptable or not. I don't know. So
And here's the thing, you can honor the jersey, they still wear it, right? So it's not like it's
right,
retired. So you
right.
can 100% honor the jersey and
Sure.
no one would bat an eyelash at it.
Yeah.
I just don't. Yeah, I get what you're also saying. Like if is to me is the threshold of getting your jersey honored and being an All American.
No.
Like I mean, is that I mean I don't know.
Well,
It's
we're
not
talking
because
2
it's
different
not
things. The original comment was Hall of Fame, right? Getting a jersey honored and Hall of Fame are way 2 different things. Like you can have one without the other.
we also talk about in like NFL with like, oh well, is he a Hall of Famer? Well, he's got a Super Bowl. And
Right.
it's
Oh, yeah?
like, well, he's got
Oh,
a
yeah?
championship ring. He's got 2 MOP awards. He's won a Final
Mhm.
Four. He's cut down 2 nets. So I'm
I
like,
think his jersey should be honored. I think he should be
I don't
honored.
know. I
It should
mean,
be
so
honored.
it's just an interesting. That's why I think going back to your original point, it's debatable to me. So
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. No,
and if it's
it's
not, honored, I'm okay with that because I get it. So
yep.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's certain criteria either for those things. Like I just I don't know that, so I can't definitively say yes or no. But if you just on just pure merit, it feels like he should be.
Sure. Yep. Nope. I'd agree. Well, and it was funny too. Earlier, I think it was Pack Insider posted a article where they asked Dennis Pitt Jr. like, what was his reaction to NC State? Oh, Greg the Leg already rolling eyes. Dennis Pitt Jr. His reaction to NC State making it, win HC championship, make it to the Final Four, and he. Dennis Smith Jr. basically went on to say that that him and his family and his grandparents have always been big time NC State fans, so it was really cool to see it happen, and basically there was a lot of talk that started happening of, is Dennis Smith Jr. an NC State legend? And I'm saying, I mean,
in
Greg,
some ways, yeah, but
No.
he's legendary for something.
Greg, yeah, Greg, give me your 2 cents on that, man. Let it out, bud. I want to hear your 2 cents.
How can you be a legend on like a 5-win team? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
I mean, he is so because
a
he's the
legend
most.
makes other people better, right? Like, not only
Right.
are you great, but you elevate your people around you. There's like one and done. I think he was like on the all rookie team, and I think he might have
Mhm.
been like second team or third team all ACC. I get it. You had a nice little year. You had a great dunk against Duke, but that's all you had. And at the end of the day, it didn't even count because we vacated the damn wins. So
Well, and again, it goes back to as well, like, obviously there's a team is much more than one player, no doubt about
yeah,
it. Yeah, I mean, Gottfried didn't do his best job that year, Mister. After losing Boston College, well, we got better today. And then just a bunch. It was just a bunch of singles out there, and I mean, Dennis Smith Jr. single handedly got every win that was vacated that year. But and again, I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, you can't argue that he's one of the most talented point guards to ever play at NC State. One of.
That's for sure.
I'm not
That's for
saying,
sure. No, that's for
yeah,
daggum sure. He was,
yeah,
but he
yeah,
just
yeah.
that team was
So
garbage.
it was a garbage team. So yeah, I don't think I would say legend, but I get where they're coming from in terms of like if you were to do like we were doing a draft once again, like, and you had 5 players, picking teams.
Chris Maravich round 1.
Press Maravich round 1, baby. But Dennis Smith Jr. is in that conversation, no doubt about it. But
Yeah,
just thought that was interesting. So,
I mean, I appreciate that he's still
right.
a fan and all of that. Like, I think that's cool. I do. I'm not trying to be a complete hater on the dude. I mean, he balled out, but
yeah,
5 wins.
Yeah. And again, shout out to Trey Turner, man, the goat, and love seeing how much he's evolved, man. Like that's the one thing. Like
Yeah.
we talk about Peyton Wilson being one of the most beloved, DJ Burns being one of the most beloved. Like I like as much as people know that Trey is beloved, I don't think people really understand how much he should be beloved by how he's one of the top 2 or 3 shortstops in all of baseball right now, and he's still about as involved in NC State as a professional player could be. Really, I mean, like he makes it very, very clear, and that even makes it very, very clear that Trey's watching our games almost as religiously. He was a part of the call out where we were going to do the cancer awareness game. He was a part of that video.
He's the World Series. He had the
NC
wrestling
State soft helmet. NC State soft helmet.
I mean, whatever it is, it's like
yeah.
It's awesome.
He had 2 different helmets. He had the padded one, and then when they won it all, he brought the actual real helmet out with the block S. And then he and his wife, I just totally forgot his wife's name. She was a gymnast at State.
Caitlin?
No, you're close. It begins with a C, I thought. And then
regardless.
Myself. Yeah. But anyway, he and his wife made a nice donation that was split between both gymnastics and baseball. So, like, just to kind of give back to, the place that gave him and his wife a start, and, if he doesn't get a scholarship and she doesn't, then maybe they don't meet and, have a wonderful family. And, so I think that's great. He's very well beloved.
Amen. So want to move on to some more tweets of the week here. So shout out to our man Peyton Wilson, who will get drafted here this weekend. Now, if it's Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, we will find that out sooner rather than later. But I mean, from all the mock drafts I'm seeing,
he's moving up.
He's like there's talks of him going late first round. There's talks of him going third round. It just it's really kind of all over the place for him. Like I've seen a mock draft where the Panthers took him in the first round, which I'm like,
that's a first round pick.
That's a little high.
Or second round pick, whatever it was. But I'm like, and I'm sitting there like I think defense is not really one of the issues. I mean, even though I would love to see him in a Carolina Panthers uniform, that'd be really cool. That's not a priority. Yeah, that's not a priority for them. But the Packers, even too, I've seen use a first round pick in a mock draft. But again, it's mock drafts. So let's just see. Just buckle up, and we'll have the tweet ready to go to give him a shout out to the greatest linebacker to ever put on a city uniform.
That happens Thursday, right? The draft is Thursday.
First round.
Yeah.
Friday is the second and third round.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, so here, Greg, let me ask you, bias aside, with the Bucks, where would you want him to go?
Nowhere in the NFC South if we're not getting them. Probably like the AFC West. The furthest thing that we play on a consistent basis.
Yeah. So you don't have to cheer against him as much.
Yeah, I mean, hell, if he went to the Commanders, I'd go. I would probably buy a Commanders jersey, get it signed by him, and frame it like I've got some other stuff. And I'd go to a game and cheer him on, and I wouldn't be cheering the Commanders on. I'd be cheering Peyton Wilson on. I genuinely do root for our dudes, even if they're playing the Bucks. I'll still root for them. Look, you can go have a great game and your team lose, and I'm still okay with that.
Yeah. I'm looking here just right now at some of the latest mock drafts. I'm just going to throw some names out. This is some that have come in since, I guess I'm going to go the last few days.
Actually, you know what grinds my gears? If I can do one real quick while you're looking it up.
Yeah. Yep.
Gray potentially getting drafted ahead of Wilson.
You up for Carolina, you mean?
Yeah, linebacker from Carolina. Gray, right? That's his name, right? Gray. Jeremiah Gray. Is that right?
No.
It's Gray, though, isn't
guy's name? It's let's look it up. I can't remember. I don't want to tell you wrong. Cedric Gray.
Cedric Gray, thank you. I knew what Jeremiah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to be fair, he's had less injuries. Peyton's had the injuries, and he's a little older.
And he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. He's a really good player, but I just Anyway, you said throwing some names out.
So the last I guess the last couple of weeks, here's some places they've had him going. What's crazy is these are all different people, and they all have him going in the late first, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, he's moving up. His
so
numbers at the combine were insane.
no, this is based off of NFL mockdraftdatabase.com, so it compiles all the mock drafts, and that this website can find. Here's some of the teams: 29th pick to the Colts, 31st pick to the 49ers, 32nd pick to the Packers, 20th pick to the Steelers,
If he went to the
29th
49ers, that
pick
defense is nasty already.
to the Lions, 30th pick to the Ravens. That's on 2 different sites. So you got Packers, Lions,
Oh my.
49ers, Colts, Steelers. You know,
Yeah.
it's
a good list there.
some good. Those are
Good
winning
defenses.
teams right now.
Winning teams and
Winning
defenses.
teams right now. So I saw where he was interviewed by the Steelers. I could totally see him with the Steelers. Now they're not. They're probably like a fringe 500 is slightly better than that. But can you imagine him on like?
Well, they made the playoffs last year.
Yeah, could you imagine him on the 49ers? Like, I mean, with that team right now, or could you imagine him with heck the Ravens or it'd be also be kind of a cool fit for him would be I feel like is the Lions.
Yeah,
like I
Lee
could see him
McNeil.
doing that. With a Lee McNeil again. Like they got that kind of. I feel like the Lions almost like kind of feel like the NC State of the NFL. I don't know why. It's not because the Liam's on it, but they just kind of got this underdog mentality.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like they just kind of they're hard, tough together kind of mindset, and I don't know.
Yeah, if I wasn't a Bucks fan,
so.
I wouldn't have a problem being a Lions fan. I like Dan Campbell. I think he's a great coach. I think they've assembled a nice staff. Dudes that young. Like they have a lot of energy, and I think that's what I like about them. Their coach has energy, or as Gruden would say, they got juice. They got juice.
But hey,
juice.
But Greg, there is one draft pick. I didn't say this one. There is one mock draft that has him going 26 to the Bucks.
I would
So
donate a couple of dollars to that signing bonus if it's necessary to make the
Yes.
we have some needs at linebacker. I mean,
that was a Fox Sports mock draft by Nick
I
Wright.
like Fox
So
Sports.
there you go.
Oh, Nick Wright. I don't like Nick Wright.
Wow.
Yeah,
There you go.
Nick Wright fan, but all right. Hey, you know what? If he projects it and it happens, then I would put a tweet out taking everything back.
Bucky Brooks has him going 25th to the Packers. I'm just trying to think of somebody else that I can know here names wise.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
wow.
Good, Layden.
Islanders just scored again, man. Golly.
Oh, son of a gun.
Jeez. Anyway,
Might
all
be
right.
time
So
to take the gear off.
Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and just get on the open road real quick. Huge shout out to the unfortunate news about Roman Gabriel's passed away in his house with his family surrounding him peacefully, and at the age of 83, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play NC State, no doubt about it. And a guy that I'm heartbroken, couldn't celebrate getting his name in the NFL Hall of Fame before he passed away. But I'm hoping that eventually that the good minds will figure itself out and Roman Gabriel get in the Hall of Fame where he deserves. So, but again, huge thoughts and prayers right now to the Gabriel family for sure. And sad to hear this news.
It's crazy when you look at his stats and he's in the College Football Hall of Fame, and you look at his stats and you're like, wow, like that would not be College Football Hall of Fame numbers now. But obviously back when he played, the game was completely different. It was a very short pass oriented game. And, I would love to see how he would stack up in the modern day, because I mean, he could sling it. He really could sling it.
Oh yeah. 100%. And Hunter pointing out, Wilmington, North Carolina native, too. So, no, definitely. Again, NFL, former NFL MVP, played 16 seasons in the NFL. Like that's pretty good. So
yeah, unfortunately, his pro team stinks. I can't. I'm not a Rams fan. I'm like one of 2 teams in the NFL that I can't stand. So
yeah, I got you there.
Wow, really?
Well, just from a personal Buccaneer fan, they denied us twice in the NFC Championship game, getting the Super Bowl. So I can't be a fan.
Gotcha.
So that's why. Yeah.
So now moving on to our next tweet of the week, where the Division I Board of Directors ratifies the transfer NIL rule changes, which now basically basically, for those who don't know, to summarize it, now we have officially entered free agency forever in the college football world. So anybody can just leave anytime, no matter how long they've been. So meaning that every single year when you sign up for a team, you're basically in essential signing a team of 1-year contracts. And at the end of that year, they can choose to stay and sign another 1-year contract, or they can go somewhere else and sign a 1-year contract. That's
crazy.
in real terms what's happening. So
Yeah, and the other big thing too was allowing third-party corporations to be
Mhm.
able to get into this game, and conveniently, right after it was announced, FedEx announced a $25 million partnership with the Memphis Tigers. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. They'd already been working that out, and they probably already knew that this was coming, because I mean it was literally not long after.
To be honest with
Yeah.
you, good for them. I mean, like they
Yeah.
were like proactive about it. They're smart about it, and
Yeah.
and I just think it's like, man, I'm not. You can't. It almost sounds moronic to now if you think, oh, we got this player for the next year. It's like unless he's like, I don't even know. I don't even know what you can bank on anymore. I mean, like if he could be a great player and want to leave, he's not getting paid more. You literally never know year after year what a player's motivation is going to be to stay or leave. So just
Enjoy the
that's
ride
where I
while
come
you
back to
have
the
it.
NIL donations. Like as much as you hate it or love it, or particularly if you hate it, like it's here. If you want to win championships, you have to be contributing to it. And it's like it just is what it is now. And if you want your team to win, it has to be a win now mentality. And that's why NIL is present. I mean, you have to do that.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough though, because for fans that go to the games, there's that ticket, there's that cost associated with it. We talked about this before. If in order to get those seats, you got to donate to the Wolfpack Club. There's another cost associated with it. And by the way, if you want a good product in order to go to the games, you got to pay those players, because if you don't got good players, you're probably not going to pay to go to the games. You know what I mean? It's just it's an ever revolving door. And look, if you want to do it, do it. If not, then just don't do it.
yeah.
Well,
But we want you to do it.
yeah.
I just
Well,
feel like this is large. Sorry, I was one thing. I feel like people think it's this large thing that I have to do. Like I
Right.
have to queue, and it doesn't have to be $100 bucks, 150 or 25. I think even like they say like $10. I'm sure you could work it out where if you want to donate $5, you probably could. So it's just like things like that. I get it. I mean, everybody's in a different situation, but I won't belabor that anymore, Leighton. So you got it.
No, you're
Well,
good.
I guess the other last thing I want to say too is, look, we got excellent value for what we spent, and we'll just use basketball because it's the most recent thing. People tend to remember the most recent thing.
Yeah.
And we got excellent value from all estimates out there and rumors. We spent between 1.3 and 1.5 million dollars for this squad. In reverse to that, Carolina and Kentucky, right? Carolina and Kentucky spent north of $4 million, and you saw what that got them. So you're not going to always get the great, like again, are we able to get those guys year in, year out? I don't know. Like you look at it, and I'll use baseball as an analogy. You have a team like the Tampa Bay Rays who usually are in the playoffs every year, and they have one of the smaller budgets. You just got to find the right people. And look, if you don't find them, you see what $1.3 million can get you. And it might not be, what you want, because it might be a year where we end up 9 and 21 or whatever that year ended up being. So again, money doesn't guarantee success, but it sure tends to not hurt.
Yep. Oh yeah, no way. And again, I mean, I think for me, two things I think out of this. First of all, as much as fans will continue to do, no matter what we say, they need to think they also need to give coaches a little bit more room in terms of really coming, judging them at least for the next few years while they really get this figured out. Because now all of a sudden every single head coaching job across the country for specifically men's basketball and football has already gotten 2 or 3 times harder than it was when they started coaching 5 years ago. Like it's because every single year you're basically just hoping and praying, and you're also, because again, now there's so many different things too that decide if a player is staying or going. Playing time, how much money they're making, relationship, are they being developed? And so every single player is like there is no like, oh yeah, no, there's no doubt that this player is coming back next year. You can't say that about a single player in any given season.
Well,
so
and you have great coaches like Krzyzewski, Williams, Saban in football. that they were towards the end of their careers, and I honestly think that NIL pushed them out just that much fast. Like, they might have had another 2 or 3 years in them at the points that they retired, but the
Yep.
NIL is like, "Nah, we good. Like, I'm not dealing with this."
And
And because
yeah,
the game has just vastly changed. I mean, it
yep.
just is. Everything about it, where it's NIL, where it's the transfer portal. I read an article yesterday about coaches talking about parents' involvement and, like, they've stayed away from kids because their parents were, just demanding the world of their kids and, like, wanting this and wanting that, and they're passing on good talent because of these parents being outrageous. So it's a litany of things that are just saying, ugh, I don't wanna
And
be
then
involved in this.
and then the second thing is I truly do believe that there's value. Like, I know that for Duke men's basketball, for example, they have a general manager, basically somebody whose full-time
Mhm.
job is basically that here's a certain amount of money that you have, and it's your job to figure out, who to
We'll make it
distribute
work.
it to and how to negotiate basically how much how much NIL money players get. And I truly believe that's what we need. Like, I'm not going to say every team needs it, but I'm saying for us, that if we really are asking, fans to donate money, and especially in droves like they have recently with basketball and football specifically, that I think there has to be, somebody to have like as that that guy to that's kind of the lead guy, and that, if it goes south, for a deal or a player, then there's somebody that's in charge of that, because you can't really blame Dorn too much for like if a guy leaves, necessarily, because it's like he can't really do much with the money, like
Yeah.
he can't do the money conversations. That's
I
not
I
that's
I'll
not
I'll
his
take it
role.
one step forward, and I think you need a good marketing department too to market these kids. Like, you see, like, Baycott got all his stuff, with outside corporations like TurboTax and making it into that Netflix show. And then you see the run that we had where DJ Horn gets Applebee's, and Burns gets Manscaped, and CVS and TurboTax and Raising Canes, and you got to be able to have someone that can help market your guys. So then it's not all falling on the fan per se to pony up all that NIL dollars.
100%,
You got to
100%,
market these dudes and
100%.
dudettes.
Yeah. I got Tar Heels for life coming in the chat saying UNC versus football, UNC versus state football this year should be great. Both teams had solid off seasons. Well, I want to ask your thoughts on this Tar Heels for life, as it got announced by, I think it was Tar Heels Illustrated, that per Mac Brown, UNC made deal with AC Network to not televise the spring game and instead be here for a practice. UNC had made a lot of changes defensively and had a true, quote unquote, true quarterback battle going on, and they didn't want it on TV. So here's my thing. All right. I know that the quarterback that played in the bowl game played well for sure. But you brought in Max Johnson from Texas A&M. I would highly, highly think that he wouldn't have come to UNC unless there was a very, very high likelihood that he was going to be the starting quarterback.
Yeah, not
Like,
with 1 year left.
yeah, not with 1 year left. Like, why would he leave Texas A&M to come to UNC, where Texas A&M, like, look at all the money that Texas A&M has towards NIL for football right now. UNC football NIL, no. So he came here to start. He didn't come here for NIL. He came here to start. But also too, I'm sitting here saying, like, okay, if Max Johnson is really competing with that guy that I saw during the bowl game, I mean, he's no Drake May. Let's put it that way. There's nobody saying that Max Johnson is going to be better than Drake May during this offseason, right? Tario for life. I mean, that's my thoughts. But Greg, I mean, Macon, to me, I'm sitting there like, that's not what I would want to see if I was a UNC fan.
I'll be straight up. I don't really care. I don't follow it.
Sure.
I heard that the kid that was already on the squad from last year had a lot of upside.
Sure.
I don't know. I really just don't care. I think it's funny. I do think it's funny that you don't want them to come, see your spring game for whatever reason, whether that's really the reason or if it's really some more underlying things. I don't know.
Yep.
Yep. Look, every other team ain't scared to put it on the ACC network, and I'll leave it at that. I mean, you can't dispute that. I mean, teams that look, Bill O'Brien is a brand new coach at Boston College, and they put their game out there, and I mean, Wake Forest is probably worse than Carolina's going to be, right? I may be willing to put money on it. They put their game on the ACC network, so I don't buy what was said out there, but to each is your own.
I
Like if
agree.
you don't want it out there, then just say you don't want to be a part of it. Like don't make up some phony baloney. I feel like that's a lame excuse.
Yeah. To me, it's just like it. I thought it was pretty fair, honestly, that a lot of the UNC fans are kind of heckling them for this. Like, you got to be kidding me! This is so
Yeah,
silly
even their
and
own fan
stupid.
base, right?
Yeah, so I think it's fair. Beyond that, I think it's very interesting because he said they made him a deal. Can you put the tweet back up, Layton, if that's okay? They made a deal for them to come to practice.
Yeah,
What does
they
that
are to
even
one of the
mean?
practices.
What does that
So-
mean, though? Like,
They
They
pre-recorded
came to
one
a
of the
practice
practices.
and interview Mac Brown and
Yeah.
and had like Jeff Collins on mic'd up, things like that.
It was
I
like
guess
it was.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that it's like when they do their ACC camp preview. It's basically was a glorified version of that. If you're familiar with what they do in the summertime.
Correct. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. Maybe he's trying to feel like he's getting a competitive advantage by not showing off his quarterbacks. Like,
Well-
I don't want to put literally anything on film. Yeah, or
Again.
hide something like I guess we said there, or hide the QB battle. But
Defensive schemes.
I mean, how many
Hey,
coaches have always done that?
He just wanted to control. I mean, at the end of the day, he wanted to control the narrative, not the narrative be controlled to him. And so, look, when you're going to do a practice per se, you can have certain drills and certain things that you can do that aren't going to show anything. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's going to be game film put out there. So, like,
Oh yeah.
what does it matter? Like state, if we're using the state UNC example, there's going to be 11 games of game tape for us to look at. So, like, what the hell does a spring game have anything to do with the price of tea in China? Like, you're literally only going to surprise your first game opponent, and I don't even know who that is because, again, I don't really care. So, what is your first game? I know they've played a few decent first games in the last couple of years, but I don't know. I think they had like Minnesota or App State. I know they don't have App State this year for the first game, but I don't know. Like it's weak. At the end of the day, it's weak.
Well, in here, I'll sum it up. Even Tar Heels for Life saying, I think Mac is trying to hide the new defensive schemes rather than the QB battles. Still stupid, though. So even Tar Heels for Life on here saying it's stupid.
Yeah, exactly. I was right. It is Minnesota. Yeah.
There it is. So,
6 and 7 Minnesota. Come on.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, just interesting. But, but
bold
anyway,
strategy, Cotton. I hope it works out for him.
Exactly. And then giving a shout out real quick, Zoe Brooks and Lacey Steele and Lizzie Williamson for being the siren sounders for game one of Hurricanes. That's pretty cool, especially for game one of the of the first round. That's a pretty big game to have 3 women's basketball players doing the siren sounding. Hopefully
the men get their thing too. I don't know who it was for tonight, but maybe they get like game that would be 5, right? If it goes that far. Well, it will go that far.
Yeah.
So maybe they get like game 5. Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. So let's jump on over some baseball here real quick to kind of wrap it up for the baseball end. So NC State in the Division I baseball rankings got put at number 21. But UNC sitting at 15. Greg, initial thoughts when you saw this rankings?
Yeah, I mean the ACC still showing out. SEC is still pretty dominant at 1 through 4 there. 4 of the top 10, and we've got 4 of the top 10 as well, right? And that was kind of going back to what I was talking about earlier. The SEC is very top heavy, but I think we just have more all around talent. But look, again, you keep winning your weekend series, and we talked about it earlier. We still have number 8, number 10, and number 14 on the schedule,
and 7.
Right, a single game with 7, and then I think can't remember who the other game was with, but
Florida State. We have series with them.
Yeah. So you still have 13 games against top 25 teams. So you still have an ability. Hosting a regional is still out there. Again, you got to go probably.
Oh yeah.
You probably have to win 3 of the 4 final series in order to host, because these other teams are going to win. What did I say?
Well, no, in order to solidify, I think if you win 3 out of 4, then you're
pretty much. I'm talking ACC matchups. I don't really count Ball State. Like I would expect to win that series. Ball State's not going to move the needle for hosting a regional.
No. But I'm just looking at all those teams beside 7, 8, 10, and 14.
Right.
mean, huge opportunities right there. So,
Right.
and you've already that sitting there and seeing, okay, we won the fifth ranked team, we won the 15th. I mean, why would we be worried about playing ECU, Wake, Florida State, or UVA at this point? Now, you just beat Clemson on the road, and they hadn't lost a series since last year, and you beat Carolina at home. I mean, to me, I think Carolina. I know you made a point about Carolina being 15, Leighton. I think you maybe were getting that a little bit. Like they did lose the 2 games by a combined 2 runs. So
Yeah.
we
And again, not to take away anything from State, like
right.
full credit, we won the games. Carolina wasn't at full strength. Neither were we. So I mean, we still went out and won the series.
And let's be real, UNC lost that second game.
They did.
They lost that game.
Well, they lost both of the games. If I mean, you don't expect to give up a game-winning home run to Butters. I mean, he literally came in hitting like 2 home runs.
Yeah,
but I mean, he threw the pitch fat.
Well, and literally the runs that tied the game and won it for us in that second game were UNC errors.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yeah, they booted the game away. But hey, we've done the same thing in years past. I mean, you got to take advantage of what's given to you. And again, like I told you, bad things happen when you let a team hang around for whatever reason. And we've been on that end more times than not. So it's thankful that 100%. We were able to turn that on someone else.
The 21st rank to me is like we earned that, and I'm good with that. Side note,
I mean, we have to have a top 5, definitely a top 10 schedule. I haven't gotten into the RPI since the Clemson series, but I would like to know what it is after the Carolina series.
I thought it was like a top 20 RPI, somewhere around there.
Probably
20, like low 20s or somewhere around there.
Well, we were low 20s against Clemson, so that had to have moved up.
Jump up, yeah. So side note, Indiana State at 25. I've never seen Indiana State ranked. So
they were good last year. They should have hosted last year.
I just don't remember them being good. That's crazy. So
yeah, they should.
Only thing I remember that is that guy that center for them this past year, and I think about Larry Bird.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah, they got screwed because they had like an event going on and they didn't have any hotels and they couldn't host the regional because they didn't have the adequate logistics set up for it. So they got screwed out of hosting last year.
Interesting. I thought this was interesting, but the Field of 64 projection that had us as a 2 seed going to ECU in their regional. I'm sitting there like, oh geez. I mean,
that's the unfortunate thing about baseball
is
they're very regionalized in the first round. They try to get teams where they don't have to travel because again, there's not a lot of money for that, and the NCAA is trying to be as cheap as possible to make the most money. So they match up teams. You'll usually have one team that travels.
Right. I completely agree. So shout out as well. I want to give a quick shout out as well to our very own Debbie Yao, who announced that she has signed up as a part of the Savage Wolves collective, which is awesome. So again, y'all, Debbie Yao got involved, so make sure y'all go get involved with Savage Wolves and One Pack NIL if you haven't already.
It's a little bit full circle for me, I think, for her, because she's seeing some of her coaches win. Another coach she hired in the men's sport, like a powerful, I guess a revenue sport, I should say, win a championship, and now she's getting to contribute as a fan, to the coaches she hired, and it's just the players. I think it's, to me, it's kind of a little bit like that. I don't know. It's cool to me.
Yeah, living her best life.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, and rightfully so. So got to give a shout out as well to 2 of our very own from NC State Wrestling, Trent Hadley and Isaac Trumbull, who both are members of the USA national team, even though they will not necessarily be competing in Paris for the Olympic team. They will still be a part of the national team. Don't ask me how that works, but basically Trent Hadley finished 3rd, Trumbull finished 2nd. Whoever finishes first is actually on the Olympic team, but
it's probably to help prepare the other guys, right? Kind of like a taxi squad, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, if I had to just guess, that would probably.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. But I mean, Isaac Trumbull losing to Kyle Schneider, for those don't remember that name, is the guy that beat Nick Gwizdowski and Gwiz's route to his 3rd national title. So I mean, one of the all-time greats and multi-time Team USA finalist. So not a slouch to lose to by any stretch of the measure. And then Isaac Trumbull having a huge upset over Carter Starochi, who was a wrestler, 4-time national champion from Penn State. And Trent Hiley just beat him in the NCAA Olympic qualifiers, which is pretty impressive. So great weekend for both these guys. So huge shout out to wrestling there. And then also to want to give a shout out to DJ Horn as well for getting announced as a part of the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament all tournament team. So
sorry, so I can tell you're not from the area. It's
Portsmouth.
It's Portsmouth.
I know.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
All right.
sorry about that. All right, Portsmouth Invitational Tournament. DJ Horn getting announced to the team. So again,
for anyone that is not familiar with the Portsmouth Invitational, or the PIT as it's known, it's down in Portsmouth, Virginia. It's where the best senior. It's kind of like the Senior Bowl for basketball. It's a round robin tournament, and DJ's team came in second in the tournament. So nice job there.
Yeah, shout out. And then also too, shout out to Sanaya Rivers as well, getting the dog award. See, but again, y'all, I'm looking at Sanaya Rivers. I'm saying, if we want to go win a national title, I need you to step up. I need you to play like the player that we have.
I need you to be that dog.
I need you to be that dog. That's right, Greg. Thank you. I need you to be that dog. Yeah. Like, come on. Like It shouldn't be the Isaiah James show. It needs to be the Sanaya Rivers and Isaiah James show next year. Simple as that.
I look, I think you're going to see a team that, now that they've been there once, right? And if they get back to that same level, I just think you'll see that next iteration, that next step in the process. And, you see teams that, right on the fringe of a championship, you got to go lose one before you go win one. And so if you kind of think about it in those terms, I think it bodes well, especially with Zamara. Holy cow, she showed out in that showcase.
Zamaria, I think it's Zamaria.
I think maybe it's Zamaria. Yeah, I might be saying it wrong. I apologize.
Yeah, she's going to be the real deal at NC State, no doubt about it. Definitely a duo of her and Zoe Brooks in 2025, 2026. That's going to be quite the backcourt. So looking forward to that. But also got to give a shout as well to this graphic here with some stats from the men's basketball tournament run, kind of going over how really spectacular the growth was. 66,000 new followers gained across all platforms for social media. About 67% Instagram growth for in-state men's basketball. Which you may say, well, what does that matter for us? Well, it just really shows that our brand grew. That now more people know who NC State is. More recruits are going to look at NC State as a viable force when it comes to getting publicity, getting their name out there, getting noticed, for the NBA, things like that. So that's really kind of the biggest thing, is more from a recruiting perspective, also too, just from a national perspective, being like, oh yeah, NC State, I know who they are. Like,
when you're walking around with your gear, people will recognize it now, right?
Are you a Stanford fan? Are you a Stanford fan, right? Yeah.
Syracuse, right? Syracuse.
Yeah, we're Syracuse.
Well, to me, winning a Final Four helped that. I always wondered how much the applications for enrollment go up when you win stuff like that. So, just in general, so it's going to be, it's huge, right? I mean, you're going to, for NC State, you just keep winning, good things happen, right? So,
amen to that. And then last thing as well, breaking news as the 2-minute warning and the helmet communication for quarterbacks for play calling is officially coming to college football for the 2024 season. My original thoughts on it, I mean, I'm here for it. I mean, honestly, I don't really have an issue with it, honestly, and especially too, for where we were last year, where we're complaining about them not stopping the clock on first downs. Like, now that 2-minute warning will make the game a little bit longer, not that much longer, but a little bit longer. So I'm here for that. The more time, you tell me I can spend a little bit more time at Carter Finley Stadium, I'm here for it. But also too, I mean, just getting it aligned with the NFL, just because, I mean, like, a 2-minute warning is complete game changer in terms of how you approach the game.
It's a reset. Yeah,
it's a reset. Exactly. So I think getting that aligned is great. And I think from a play calling perspective, the only thing that sucks is now, you won't have the great signal callers. Exactly. You won't have the Teletubbies on the sidelines doing the hand signals. So
that might speed the game up a little bit too, right? You don't have to wait for a call. Like, you can literally just get it in your head and then call the play and then get to the line.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah.
We won't have any more, Michigan sign stealings, sagas, which is kind of unfortunate. That was a fun storyline last year.
Yes, it was.
It was
And hey,
overblown.
teach your kids, ladies and gentlemen, that if you learned anything from the Michigan debacle is that when in doubt, cheat. It'll get you everywhere. So
Everywhere. You get your national championships.
that's
and,
right.
And a payday in the NFL.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. No, but I'm all for you again. I definitely will miss the signal calling. I think that was always one thing, especially for me being a former manager, which I was a part of. Seeing the different tactics of
Three dudes and
teams.
then two dudes with big
Well,
boards.
and them having the big kites behind the signal callers,
Yeah.
so that way they can stand out. That way they can block the coordinators from up top from seeing the signals, things like that. So, yeah.
There's a show.
But hey, now college football is going to get a little bit more expensive because now those helmets are going to go up a notch in terms of value.
But it's just the QB, right? Just the QB, I think.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing linebackers. Right. I don't think they're doing defensive signal calling. I hadn't seen anything about that. I don't know.
Interesting. I feel that would be
I honestly
unfair.
don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
I would assume that they're still going to do it. I would assume
look.
just like NFL, they would do it for middle linebacker and quarterback because it wouldn't make sense that you would have to signal call for defense but not offense.
Right.
So that's my thoughts. But but now that really means you're going to really need to trust that middle linebacker because now that middle linebacker really truly is the quarterback of the defense now for college football. So, now that needs to be your dude. So, so now, especially when we storm the field, now that equipment manager is going to be zoned in on quarterbacks. Give me your helmets. You ain't dropping those. We got to take those with us no matter what. So,
yeah, I mean, at this point now, the field is, the game is very similar to the NFL. The only exception is the kicking game still, as far as kickoffs and the hash marks and goalposts.
Yep.
So those are still, unique to college, but everything else is basically the same.
Yep. And then I just hope to one day that we won't find our own addition to the what the heck is going on here collection cards here. Now that FSU has joined UNC for creating their unconquered rings despite losing 63-3 to Georgia in the Orange Bowl. UNC came out first with the Coastal Division championship rings. And then now Florida State coming out with the unconquered 13-0 rings, even though they got absolutely curb stomped by Georgia. In the
Danny Cannell's quote was kind of funny. Did you see that?
No, what did it say?
It's essentially, and I'm paraphrasing, it said, unconquered F the committee. Or something to that effect.
I love that.
It was funny. Or F the committee, what the committee says, or something to that effect.
It said correct, period, but it should also have said F the quote unquote F the committee on them also.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, no,
that was pretty funny.
But anyway, so with that being said, Wolfpack Nation, again, make sure to stay tuned. Make sure if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Make sure to do it. And hit that subscribe button. Again, we'll have some awesome episodes coming out here tomorrow and Wednesday with the GOAT for NC State Gymnastics and Emily Shepard, y'all. It was a doozy to say the least. So make sure do not miss out on that. And if you enjoyed this conversation, do us a favor and hit that like button and make sure to give us a follow. Tuffy Talk Now on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, y'all. Macon, Greg, any final words here before we head on out?
No, let's get that win against ECU. And then our series this weekend, you said, is Ball State?
Ball State. Yep. The Fighting David Lettermans.
Yeah, let's get the win. Let's get the wins, right? I mean, I'm to me, all the focus is going to be on them now. So
that's right.
Yeah. We got baseball's getting in that stretch, so that's the next postseason run we got to go make.
That's right. Yeah, we need it. Hey, I'm all for Omaha in the Final Four in the same year. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to have any money left in my savings, but I'm here for it. So,
yeah,
let's do it. I told my wife, I said, babe, I'm not letting you send me to Omaha without you with me, like for the second time. Like I went once without you, but no, you got to come and check it out for the second time. So,
yeah, it's a pretty special place.
It is for sure. All right, Wolfpack Nation, we appreciate y'all. We love you guys. We appreciate y'all. And we'll talk to y'all soon, baby. Go Pack, y'all. We'll see y'all soon.